feel that he may say things, again, doesn't mean that he's not careful. Put your hands together for a fun session by Andy Raja.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for enlightening me with traits of my personality I never knew existed. My fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, good evening to all of you. I must say I was enormously enthused, inspired and humoured by all participants of the table topics. And as dictated to, or rather advised by my General Evaluator, I'm taking a slightly offbeat track to follow his guidelines so that all of you benefit from this little bit of difference. I have listened to the topics and I told myself, now how would I address these topics if given the opportunity? Now trust me, unlike the unfortunate few who came to speak about, I had a little more time, extra time. And being an evaluator, I also had time to look at it more carefully and make better on what they've already done. Yep. I think everybody did a great job. Nonetheless, there was something that we could always do better. The first speaker was Sheikh Shakil Nju, and what a topic he had. King of the world, where the rest of the world, everybody was midgets, or rather thumb-sized. Yeah? This is an opportunity where your imagination can really run riot. Yeah? If that were to have come to me, I would have said, of that size, might and strength, I would have had the universe at my fingertips. I would command to do anything and everything I wanted. I would have my pedicure, my manicure, my hair done. I would only have to relax. All you have to do was think of Gulliver's Travels. And then you could have gone on to become a little more humorous and said, yeah, but then these people would never be able to satisfy my craving hunger, or be able to stitch a cloth or a shirt in time for me, because it will take ages for them to do all these things. But then, despite all that, I would be monarch of this particular world. It was an opportunity for you to run riot with the imagination, but you kept it very pragmatic. But it was also inspirational, and you gave discipline, and you gave a lot of things which you otherwise do to anybody. You know? The second speaker was Irfan Khan, who expressed his delight to be swallowed up by a whale, purely because I think he was scared of his wife. I said, anything, anywhere, away from her would be heaven. That's what he said. Well, that's not the truth. But then he was forced to think along those lines. Or maybe it was the truth, who knows? But then, again, it lacked a little bit of flavor there, because all you have to do is just imagine yourself to be there. And you think, what would the inside of a whale look like? It would look something like this, tense, with all the ribs showing up like this. And then, of course, you can say, whatever you see big organs, a heart pumping its way to glory. I never thought a heart would do so much of work. Or you can see and explore other organs of the whale in a magnified fashion. And you can say that the diet of the whale was plankton. You could have run a little bit of, and you had the time to do it. And instead, there was the story was incomplete because you said, by the time I came back, it was back to normal. So my only advice is, since you had the benefit of time, use your imagination, because the tall tale is coming, so all of us has to exercise this kind of a thing to get across the message. The third one was Jawad Iqbal. Well, I think there was drama there, if you ask me. He caught on to things pretty fast. But then, the computer is something that we are all familiar with and in touch with on a daily basis. And there's so many cartoons, there's so many things happening about the computer in our daily life. If you look at the BBC or any other, the movies for instance, a lot of stories are woven around the computers. So perhaps he could have uh, used himself into a little more dramatics apart from what he's already said. But it lacked a certain story style. If it were to be me, I would probably have told myself that the computer, with all the super intelligence it had, I touched this button and all of a sudden I could speak all the languages of the world. I could do many things which a normal person couldn't do. And equipped with this kind of a thing, there was dilemma in my mind. And you could have carried on with that. I mean, that's what I would have thought. Yeah. But otherwise, I think there was a little bit of color and drama and imagination. MS Heather. I think that was a fantastic topic that he got. I wish I had it. He was in an island. Of course, what would I do if I were in an island with only ladies, black or white? Yeah. I don't want to go into Lake Maroon because of time constraints, so I'll save it for another day. But nonetheless, it's a pity he didn't use his time correctly. I'm talking about the time in the table topics. Guest Abdul Rauf, of course. That was a fantastic attempt that he made. Again, it was very, very businesslike. You gave your original ideas, where you should have thought on a more exaggerated way to make it a little humorous or in fact a little more engaging. But nonetheless, there was a couple of good points that you made about what you think would have made you win the match. That was good. Good attempt. Thank you. And of course, the guest Hassan, I think you're making your attempt here for the second time, or is that your first attempt? First attempt. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the courage to come here and talk about it. I think you missed the topic altogether. The topic was, if you were to be abducted by aliens, how would you escape? Yeah. So you could have imagined a spacecraft or a flying saucer coming around, kidnapping you, and then you getting a lot of things, abilities and faculties and other things that you would otherwise not get as a normal human being. You could have expanded it, then you could have said yes, but then I realized that the aliens eat a food that I don't, so I had to run away. So otherwise I think it was very, very engaging. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.